Hi friends, welcome to Tabletop Tonight. This is Ruel's wrap-up for the month of April 2024. This is where I talk about the games that I played last month, and I do a companion piece that you can check out on the links below, where I talk about the games that you played. So first, we're going to rank the games that I played. Let's take a look. All right, first game of the month. I played 17 different games this month, folks. And the first one is Paper App Dungeon. This is really interesting. This is a dungeon crawl, a roll and write that fits in the back of your pocket, literally. It's like one of those little spiral bound notebooks. I love this. It's really fun. Basically, all you need is a pencil. And look, they have a pencil there. You can sort of see it there. And that pencil is a D6, or they call it a P6, a pencil 6. So there's numbers 1 through 6. You literally roll the pencil, and whatever it lands on, 1 through 6, that's going to determine where you move and what you do and whatnot. I mean, it's pretty simple, but it's cool because it has all the classic workings of a board game dungeon crawl. You have to go through the maze. You're going to fight monsters. You're going to level up. You're going to get treasures and whatnot. And then so each maze is its own page. Every couple of pages, you go to like the store and you can get items and whatnot. Very cool idea, and it works well. Again, you're not looking at some deep immersive experience, but to have this in your pocket, pretty awesome. So that's number 17 of the month, Paper App Dungeon. I want to thank our friends at Lucky Duck for sending that over. Let's go on to number 16. This is a party game from our friends at The Op, who make some of my favorite party games, and this is one of this. This is a game called Tapple. Now, Tapple, this is from Games for Two. If y'all watch this channel, they're amazing. This couple, I think they started on TikTok, and now they put their stuff on YouTube as well. It's got tons and tons of views and subscribers, and they do a really great job of introducing games, hobby games and non-hobby games, to non-gamers and to casual gamers. Tapple is terrific. You randomly choose a category card, and then going around in turn order, you have to come up with a word that matches that category, that matches one of the letters. And of course, as you go around the circle, or as you go along the game, you're going to hit those letters, and those letters will eventually not be available to you. So you're trying to think of whatever the category is, like, movies or whatever. A movie that starts with the letter P, and it's like, you only have a few seconds. If you don't do it in time, then it goes to the next player. Last player standing collects the category card, and it's first to 3. Wonderful game. I play it all the time at parties and family gatherings. It is excellent, and I'm real glad to see more people playing this, because while it may not be the deepest game, it's a game that'll what I love about these is they are simple to get to the table, and people say, hey, we had a good time with that. What other games do you have in your bag, Ruel? And then it's like, oh, now we can hit them with the next one. So it's a great gateway. I know some people are sort of like, what about that term gateway? You know what? Gateway or introductory game or first game for gamers. I love it. I think it's wonderful. It's been out for a while. And again, I record this live on Twitch, folks. If you want to follow me on Twitch, click the links below. As our friends in chat remind me, Legends, Tapple's been out since 2012. So it's been out for a while. It's made a comeback. So it's really cool. I know the original Tapple looked different than this, but I love that they've been able to repackage it, repurpose it, and more people are getting to play it. So that is our number 16 game of the month, Tapple. Moving along to number 15. This is a game from our friends at Button Shy Games, who sent me a copy. Thank you so much. Fishing Lessons. It's a game by Scott Alms, one of my all-time favorite game designers. It's a solo game of fishing. I actually love the story about this. It's a really, like a touching, heartfelt story where you are a fisher person going out fishing, and you're trying to remember, I believe it's your grandfather's lessons. Like, hey, this is how this is the best way to catch fish. So your deceased grandfather or whatnot, you take those lessons and try to apply them in life. And that's the theme. I love that theme. You can play different fisher people, and whether it's like the daughter, the granddaughter, or I forget, niece or whatever, or nephew. But what you do at its heart, it's a sort of a memory pattern game, and you're going to move your fisher person, and you're trying to get goals. So you have a goal, specific goal, like, hey, I need 3 of these type of fish and 2 of these type of fish, all showing, as you can see here, I'm flipping up cards, flipping back down, using the different abilities, the cards that come out, the lessons that come out. You're going to move your fisher person at the top there and either flip over cards or flip them down or whatnot, and there are different positions, and your job is to get them aligned just right for your goal. So you need to have like 3 like red fish or 2 blue fish or whatever shown up there. I think they're the type of fish that they talk about, but it's way harder than you think. I thought it was, oh, this is super easy. I realized that I'm terrible at memory games, but this one is so clever. Just, again, button shy games, 18 cards, oh, so fun. So that, even though memory games are not my jam, I had a lot of fun with this. Again, I love Scott Alm's designs. They're just all really great. And I'm super happy that he's done a lot of solo games with button shy games. One of my favorites was Food Chain Island. That one's wonderful as well. Again, very puzzly. And these his games, at least in the 18 card series of button shy, they tend to be like little mini puzzles. So be sure to check that one out. Fishing Lessons from Button Shy Games and Scott Alms. Next, number 14. This is a game that I just recently picked up thanks to our friends at Capstone Games. They sent over a copy of the new Uwe Rosenberg game, Tangram City. Tangrams are these funky little shapes here. They're not polyominoes, but see how they're, I don't know, I forget exactly the definition. And folks watching live, if you know the definition of tangram, please drop it in the chat and I'll bring it up. But these are not your standard like Tetris style pieces, right? But it's still the same type of jam where you're trying to fill up your board, in this case a city. You're trying to build up your little city made of tangrams. And as you can see there, I'm drawing cards that represent each one of those tangrams. They come out randomly. Everyone plays the same cards, but you're going to place them in different spots in your city. And DNX1, thank you. What a tangram is a square cut into 7 pieces. And that's what these are. So you have your squares that you're going to place on, or you have squares in your city, but you're also trying to make rectangles to score like areas, as long as they're all connected and they're all complete. And then you're going to look at all the squares in your city, and they're either going to be buildings, which are black colored, or forests, which are green colored. And you want the balance of those, because obviously you don't want more than one of the other, whatever. So if you have a difference of, say, like 3, maybe you have 3 more forests than buildings, then you will lose 3 points. Or not, you won't lose 3 points, but you won't score as high as you would if it's perfectly balanced, like equal amount of green and black. It's a really interesting balancing act. I think that's what sets this one apart from other tile laying games, which I love tile laying games. Number 1, the tangrams. Again, those are pieces that are cut into 7 pieces. They're funky shapes, and at first there's a few pieces like, oh, how did this go on the board? But you'll figure it out. I like that you can play it solo. It's just a beat your own score thing. Very easy to learn, but challenging as far as, like, for me at least, I'm so used to like Tetris style pieces that these threw me for a loop. So Tangram City, Uwe Rosenberg, you know him from all his great tile laying games. Would I say this is one of his latest and greatest? I wouldn't put it up there with like Patchwork or, the other ones in series like Indian Summer and whatnot. I wouldn't put it up there. This is definitely one of the most accessible. But not bad. I just I don't know. I felt like it's definitely one of those games where it's not super interactive, right? It's basically a solo game because you all play off the same. I should say, there's one cool little element where in the multiplayer game, you're always gonna place 4 cards, place 4 pieces per turn. And in the multiplayer game, each person's gonna have a card, and then so you have one piece of information to yourself. And then you play off the public one, and then you reveal your card, and everyone knows. So you can sort of plan ahead in your turn. But yeah, I thought that was a really clever thing. And also the balancing between the buildings and the forest. Pretty cool. So that's Tangram City, my number 14 game of the month. Let's move on to number 13. Hey, another solo game. And this one was this one was actually specifically built as a solo game. It's a game called Sherlock Solitaire. I want to thank our friends at Wise Wizard Games for hooking me up with a copy. This is a card-based game, and it is a game of basically matching sets and runs of numbers. So you have, it's a really cool theme. It's your Sherlock Holmes trying to figure out the case, right? And trying to see who done it. And you have your office area on the right or on the left, I forget, right or left. And then you have your murder scene on the left or right. Oh, God, is it left or right? I forget. Anyways, you're going to play, cards are either letters or numbers. You're going to play them on the left or right side, and you're going to play a couple per turn, but there's certain limitations of how you can play them. And then your goals are to, depend on, I think there's 2 that are built in the game. You have certain goals you want to, get rid of the cards in a certain order or whatnot. It's really clever. I was surprised by this. I love the fact that's like $10 US retail, and you could get it. I released it straight up on Amazon. It's super accessible, and it's puzzly, folks. It's a nice little puzzle. You can bring it anywhere you want. I was gonna say you can play it on anywhere you want, but it does have. There's standard size cards, but as you can see, my tableau is starting to grow. You know what? You could play it probably in a small table. I'm trying to think of would this be. I think it'd be able to fit on an airline table if you're traveling, but really fun, game as far as mechanism work. It's pretty easy to pick up. Again, you're just trying to get different sets and different letters and numbers. And what's cool is as you're playing, I think it's the letter ones or the numbers. Okay, here it is. You're going to trigger different abilities. There it is right there, Sherlock Holmes. So if you have pairs, that'll trigger an ability. Is like, oh, now you can look at a different card, or you can replace one or whatnot, or you can dig through the discard pile. If there's ever time when you can't place a card, you're going to take a wound. You get 3 wounds, the game is over, you have lost. But if you can set up your cards the way the objectives are lined up, then you have won. Very cool game. Definitely check that one out. It is number 13 for the month, Sherlock Solitaire. Number 12. I love games about food. Who doesn't, right? I mean, come on. And a game about donuts. You had me at donuts, folks. Number 12 is Donuts, a game by Bruno Cathala. This video is our friends Monique and Naveen from Before You Play. This is an abstract game in its heart. That's all this is. It's tic-tac-toe, folks. You're trying to get 5 in a row, either orthogonally or diagonally. And the trick here is you're either playing the glaze or the chocolate donut, and you just place your donut anywhere you want. But then if you notice, each space has a line. It's either going diagonal or orthogonal. Where you place your donut, depending on that line, that's where your opponent is going to have to place their next donut. So if I place a donut with an orthogonal up and down line, you have to place yours up and down within that row or that column. Likewise, if I place it on a line with a diagonal, you're going to have to place it diagonally, your donut there diagonally. So you're going to eventually have to, try to figure out how am I going to get 5 in a row. Here's a really cool thing. It's called the insert or insertion. If a donut that you place is in between 2 of your opponents, then you're going to flip those over. Like right there. Why don't we go back there? Monique just showed Naveen, hey, he's playing the chocolate donut. She puts her glaze there. And because it's between 2 of his donuts, his flip over to hers now. So that's really cool. Now she's got all these in a row. She doesn't have 5 yet for the win, but you can go back and forth. And if it gets to the point where you place all your 15 donuts, then you just end the game there. And then whoever has the largest contiguous area, and in this case Monique would with her glazed donuts, that's how the tiebreak is won. Very cool game. Nice little twist on a very simple mechanism for donuts. Again, Bruno Cathala, really, really good. And our friend Magic Eric, who's watching live on Twitch, folks, you can watch live if you follow the links below. I think you might want to get this one. I usually don't love abstract games, but this one seems fun based on one BGA gameplay. Yeah, and you can check it out, folks, on BGA. You can play it for free, BoardGameArena.com. And I think it's a winner. It's one of those games, and you see the board? It's actually 4 modular pieces. They're double-sided, so you just mix and match. So you never have the same game twice, right? You're just going to mix and match. Very, very cool. Definitely check it out. It is Donuts. And as Games Nerds says, plus you get to have fun putting the donuts on your fingers, of course, just like in real life. Moving right along to number 11. I love donuts. Folks in chat, if you're watching live, let us know what your favorite donuts are. Mine is either a glazed twist or a tiger tail. Okay, number 11, say bye to Monique and Naveem. Be sure to check them out and follow them in the links below. My number 11 game is the Art Project from the Op. This game has really gotten a lot of play in my house, in my household. And this is a cooperative game, but I played it solo a bunch. I really enjoy this, where you're trying to find the art thieves, and you're using, it's sort of pandemic stylish, where the baddies sort of I don't know, they continue to populate, but in a different way. It's not like just draw an event card or whatnot. You've got hand management. You're trying to collect clues as far as where they are, and if you can, you're going to be able to take them out as you go. And it's a really cool a game. I mean, art by Vincent Dutray. I know we got a lot of fans of Vincent Dutray's here, but a very smart cooperative game. I really like how they've handled the resource management, the hand management here. It's a tense game. Like every turn, like you're really trying to set yourself up to get to the right locations. You're going to be using the clue cards, as you see there. I discarded them in order to pop up the art that I'm trying to find, and then I have to get like almost like pick and deliver, where I have to get there and grab that in order to win. I've got to get 7 of them to win. And yeah, so that's the Art Project. Got a lot of solo play. Love it. Yeah, cool pieces. Love the crates. Game Nerd says. Also, we got some favorite donuts in the house here. Talking about Boston creams, chocolate dips, apple fritters. Oh, a bunch of Boston cream fans. Wow. There's a raspberry filled Spencer. Thank you so much for all the donuts, folks. I am absolutely starving now. So that's what you get, folks, when we talk about board games here on the channel. You talk about donuts as well. And Board Game Breeze says glazed cake donut free. Yeah, those are always good. Okay, let's move on. Let's get back to the games. We're at the top 10 now. My number 10 for the month, another one that I've gotten a lot of solo play, but I love it, multiplayer as well, is from Pandasaurus. It's a game called Knarr, or Knarr. No, it's Knarr. I didn't think I'd like a Viking game. I'm not really the biggest Viking fan, but oh my gosh, this game is fantastic. It's so cool. It is a hand management game and an engine building game, but it plays really quickly. I'm playing actually a solo variant here I got from BGG. It plays really well. What you're doing is either recruiting Vikings into your crew, or you're sending those Vikings out to explore. And I like the fact that they did this little twist where it's not just like stabby, let's go, raiding, whatever. We're talking about Vikings that are trading their goods, and they get enough goods, get enough crew to go exploring. And when they explore, they hang out. They say, hey, we really like this place we found. We're going to hang out here. Now you got to go get some more Vikings for your crew. So I really like that twist on the game. So you bring in a Viking. If I play a yellow, for instance, when I play the yellow, that Viking's going to stay in my crew, and I'm going to get those resources immediately, or a special ability or whatnot. And then, because I played the yellow, I'm going to go to the tableau and pick whatever is in the yellow slot. It could be a different color Viking, who knows? But I take that into my hand. So that's one of my actions. I can recruit a Viking, or I can send Vikings that are in my crew to explore one of those distant lands there, the horizontal cards. And by doing that, it's going to require a certain number of Vikings. I have to take those from my tableau. So as I build my engine of Vikings, now I'm going to lose that as well. I love that tension in the game. I love that balance. Like, oh, what's the right time for me to go for the big points and big abilities on the exploration versus how much of my engine do I want to build up? It's a race to 40, so you got to time it just right. I like how the solo game plays, but the multiplayer really shines. What's cool is when you go to the islands or the different places to explore, destinations, you're going to place that after you've recruited it, you paid for it with your Vikings, they go retire there or whatever. You're going to add that to your ongoing abilities. And right above your ship, that little player board right there, I'm going to add that. So whenever I it's a free action called trading. I can trade in some of my bracelets and get abilities based on how many bracelets I scored. There's also helmets that you can use as any recruit. Oh man, it's so wonderful. Actually, last month, folks, this is my game of the month. It would have ranked higher, but again, I'm sort of skewed towards, Cult of the New here, or games that are new to me. It's my list sort of tends to skew towards what I played recently. But man, Knarr for this year totally caught me off guard. I love this game. Highly, highly recommend. Imaginary has a great way to call it. They call it Viking Splendor. Love it, yeah. Game Nerds also said Knarr is fantastic. Gameplay can be incredibly. I agree. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Game Nerds. It is very, very satisfying to play. All right. B. Travis, that was perfect. Is that what Viking pirates say? Knarr! I'm gonna leave it. I should just quit the stream right now. That is it, folks. That should be it. B. Travis, you win. B. Travis wins the internet today, folks. But we're going to continue with our list of games here. Getting into our the top 10, we got the number 9. And I'm recording this on May 6th, 2024. We just passed up Star Wars Day, and one of my favorite days of the year. So, of course, I had to include this one. I played it recently solo. It is Star Wars, the deck building game. And you know what? If you follow me, folks, click on the links below and find out where you can find me all over the internet. I've got a review of this coming up on the 5x. It's an audio podcast that we do. I've been involved with them for years. I go really into why I love this game so much. I'll give you a brief synopsis here. It's just like Star Realms, the deck building game, and it's Star Wars theme. Boom. 2 reasons right there. I love this. It's got the quick play of Star Realms, very fast, but here you're playing either the Empire or the Rebels, and you're going against each other. It's a battling game. So if you're more into like the Dominion, sort of like just stay a base Dominion where you're just trying to stay and do your thing and get those victory point cards, this is not for you. This is straight combat. You're trying to knock out your opponent. In this case, you're trying to knock out their bases. So of course we have the Rebel base on Yavin. There's all kinds of different bases in the game like Endor, whatnot. You also have the Death Star and Coruscant, all kinds. And each of those bases has different ability, but the gameplay really shines in that galaxy row there, right in the middle. You have the option to recruit some of your favorite characters. When I play the Rebels, I'm always excited when I can recruit Han Solo and Chewbacca, and you can also recruit ships like the Millennium Falcon. If you get those in your deck, you can play them, and they combo each other beautifully. And likewise for the Empire, if you're playing the Imperials, you got Darth Vader. You've got all the characters there. You also have the scum and villainy who can go to either side. I love that. So that's where you can recruit from your non-faction. If you can't, like, as far as the Rebels, you can't recruit an Imperial into your hand, but you can knock them out of that galaxy road, thus preventing it from your opponent getting it, which I think is really cool. So if I have enough combat strength, I can knock out, Grand Moff Tarkin or whatever, and that goes away, it gets discarded, plus I get a reward. And here, like other deck builders, especially Star Realms, you either have combat or you have currency. In this case, it's called resources, right? But what I love about this, it's got this really cool mechanism called the Force. And the Force is basically a tug of war. It's another resource, but if you have the Force on your side, then you will get extra abilities depending on the cards, right? So the example I think I brought up in this video was Han Solo. Normally, is it Han Solo? I think he normally draws 1 card. But if you happen to have the Millennium Falcon played, you get to draw an additional card. So again, if you have the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy, it's going to help you out, just like in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe, right? So I love that about that. The Force is, either with you or against or not with you. If it's all the way maxed out on your side at the start of your turn, you get an extra resource. So it's really cool. Another example is like Darth Vader. If it's the Force on your side as the Empire, he goes from having a combat strength of 6 to a combat strength of 10. And that's huge. That straight knocks out ships, folks. So see the power of the dark side, right? Awesome game. I love it. It's quick, fast playing, but you can extend it a little while. You can play, normally it's like 3 bases for the standard game, but if you really want to see your how your deck building has gone, play the 5 base game, or 5 bases. Whoever knocks out 5 bases first wins. That one allows you to see what you've built in your deck a little better. So that's how I usually play it. But love this game. And yeah, B. Travis, yeah, Ruel was rocking the Chewie hoodie in the video. Yeah, but basically whenever I play Star Wars games, I'm busting out that Chewie hoodie. All right, let's continue. We've got my number 8 game of the month. Yet another one that I played a lot of solo game. I've been playing a lot of solo games lately just because Michelle's schedule. Michelle, my wife, my partner, my main gaming partner, she's been really busy with work, and she's also taking a class. So I've been playing solo games. And AQUA, Biodiversity in the Oceans, one of my favorite solo games, and I love tile laying games. So any kind of tile laying game like this, folks, I'm all about it. It is oh so good. It's got a little bit of the, how do you say it, 3D element to it, where you're building your tableau with these hexes, and they're actually 3 hexes in one. That you'll or no, yeah, one hex pieces there. You're adding it to your habitat, and as you expand it, you're also going to go build upwards. So a little bit of Acropolis and Cascadia in this one, but I think it's plays smoother than Acropolis, where you're just trying to match the colors. And if you do, you're going to get a native creature. And those change from game to game what they want, because if you get native creatures together, then you're going to bring in the big animals, which are worth the big points, right? So as you can see, I got an octopus, there's a barracuda, those are worth more points. And you're going to get points for the habitats you build, like the coral reefs and stuff. Awesome game. This is from the op, and again, they sent me this copy. I did a paid run through for them. I love this game. I think it's so clever. It's got that Cascadia feel to it, where it's like, oh, okay, I know, it's pretty easy to learn, but it's got surprisingly more depth to it. And I love the fact that the op is doing more games like this, more hobby games. They're known, we had a game earlier before where they're known for Tapple, blank slate party games, and also all those big IPs for the Monopoly series, Yahtzee and whatnot. That's great. That's what's getting people in the hobby, right? These are the ones that are for the hobbyists. And I was like, hey, we haven't forgotten about you. Check out this game. And also, for those who just got in the hobby, like, hey, yeah, we had a great time playing Yahtzee or whatever. The op also this game looks pretty. Let's try this. I love seeing this. Thank you, the op, for not only sponsoring my channel, but also putting out these wonderful games. They got more coming this year too, folks. There's a couple that I've talked about on other shows, probably on the R&R show, Rahdo's channel, talking about stuff like Gnome Hollow and that's the other one. I'm like, Stock Exchange. These are really solid games, folks. So keep an eye out on the op. They're really bringing it this year. And also, yeah, as Legends remind us, I talked about the Art Project earlier. That's another op game. Again, fantastic game. And more along the lines of, as all of us here, all of our friends here who are hobbyists, BGG folks, we're on BGG, we love these type of games. So that's my number 8, AQUA, Biodiversity in the Oceans. All right, let's move along to number 7. Oh, hey, we're talking about solo games. We're going to continue talking about solo games. I love Kinfire Delve, Scorn, Stockade. This is based on the Kinfire world, and which is really cool. They've taken Kinfire and made it into a solo hand management resource game. And I was so happy to see this, because it takes the world that they're in. I really love the Kinfire world, and they take those characters and put them in a game that's like different than the standard game, where it's like, dungeon crawl, campaign style, bag building, and fighting and whatnot. This is straight up a solo game with some dice. It reminds me of, if you've played the Chip Theory series, like 20 Strong. It sort of takes that, where they take the bigger world, some characters, and streamline it down to this really cool and super portable game, right? You can take this almost anywhere. It's just a deck of cards, some dice, and some tokens. And you just need that space in the middle, where you have like the main baddie in the middle, and you're trying to delve through this deck of cards, all the bad guys, right? Baddies, and eventually get to the boss monster, basically. And what you're doing is getting up getting the combat ready, getting your character ready to fight. Your character has a special ability, and depending on how you fight these characters and what unlocks, it's really clever. Like, you want to get through as much of that deck as possible as soon as you can, so you still have your health left, and you're still at full strength to fight the monster at the end. Very, very clever. It's like a card-based dungeon crawl, I would say. It's so good. You will collect characters, and those characters and weapons will help you fight the main baddie, of course. What I love is the hand management aspect of this. So you after every turn, you don't draw cards, so you have to find ways. You can like reset your hand, like you draw more, but you're going to lose health if you do that. But there are other cards that you can be able to, if you play in a certain way, you'll be able to draw more into your hand and whatnot. And I think at least for the character I played, I think that's one of the abilities. You have your lantern ability as well. So if you turn on your lantern, then yes, you can get more stuff or more cards, but you lose the ability to lose that. But there are cards that allow you to restart or refire up your lantern, which is really neat. So, I thought this was clever. I think it's for all of us solo players, folks. Get this game, Kinfire Delve. Really, really fantastic game. That's why it's my number 7 of the month. Kinfire Delve, Scorn's Stockade. Number 6. Hey, another game that I found. This is a multiplayer game, but I did find on BGG, shout out to BGG, a solo variant. Folks, if you're on BGG making solo variants, thank you. On behalf of the solo gaming community, on behalf of the gaming community, thank you. Because it allows us to play our favorite games when our partners or gaming buddies are just too busy or they have other things going on where they cannot meet up. But thanks to BGG, I was able to play my number 6 game all by myself, Faraway. Another game from Pandasaurus. I just talked about Knarr. Faraway, another one that totally surprised me. I did not expect it to be this good. It seems so simple, too. You have these region cards, and you're just playing in a tableau, in a line of 8 cards left to right. Just line them up, and you're collecting different sets and whatnot. And like, hey, they have different symbols. You'll score points for those. And some of them have requirements. So, hey, I need these resources in my tableau before I can score it. Cool, simple, right? Yes, but no. Here's the big twist, and I love this. You build your tableau left to right. Then at the end of the game, that's it. That's all you're doing. 8 cards. You turn them all over. You're going to score them right to left. So, that card on the right, if you put one down that requires certain symbols, it's on the far right side of the tableau. Your very first card. You're 9 times out of 10 not going to have those resources. Now, there's a way to get resources with the clue cards. Those are ongoing like abilities and icons that you need for your requirements and whatnot. But you really need to focus on how you're building your tableau, because normally what you want to do is build it so on the left side you have your goals and the right side you have your resources. So when you turn everything over and you go right to left, you turn over the resources, or the icons I should call them, that you need them. And as you turn them over right to left, hey, on the left side I can score all the ones that have the like animal symbol or whatever. And hey, if I have those, I'm going to score that. But I needed to have those on the right side because I'm flipping over right to left. And that twist right there just blows me away. It seems like such a simple twist, but man, oh man, it is so good. I love that because it forces you to think in a different way. Like, it's almost got like a push your luck. Actually, it is a push your luck element, because that first card that I put down, I have 3 cards to start with. Everyone does. I have 3 cards. I'm going to put one down to score. By the end of the game, I may not have those symbols that I need. So you're really, you're hoping that you're going to get those. And after each round, you place a card, you're going to draw a card from the tableau. If you played the lowest number, you get first choice. So I like that. Again, it's sort of balanced, right? Like, okay, I'm playing a high number card. It probably has more points or whatnot, but I'm going to choose last in the drafting part. So it's card drafting, set collection. It's got that beautiful spatial element to it that I love. And that's why it's been a hit. Again, I found a solo variant on BGG, very simple, but it does allow me to play and just try to beat my high score. But I love it. Yeah, it's super very surprising game. Game Nerds Com says another hit from Manosaurus. It really messes with your head trying to plan, but in a good way. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And DN says, this one hurts my brain if I play too late. Oh yeah, this will hurt your brain, folks, but in a good way. That is number 6, Far Away. I was very, very pleased with that. I'm so glad that, again, Pandasaurus, very nice, kind enough to send over a copy. Also did, this one, number 5. Let's go to number 5, folks. This was high on my list of games I was super excited about because I just mentioned Cascadia. I love Cascadia. My favorite game of 2022, was it? I forget the year. But my all-time favorite tile laying game. I think it's got that perfect mix of strategy, accessibility, and replayability. They have an expansion for it called Landmarks, which we enjoy. And they also now have the Cascadia Roll and Write. Rolling Hills. I partnered with them to do a paid run through for it. I absolutely loved it. It's got the puzzly nature of nature, get it? The puzzly nature of the original game, Cascadia, but in a fun new format. Roll and Writes are one of my favorite mechanisms, and they do it, as you can see there, it's got this moving tableau of cards that you're trying to score. It's sort of got that Cascadia, hey, I need habitats, I need animals. Is it as good as Cascadia? I don't know. But I ranked it so high because I played a ton of this and I really enjoyed the game. I feel like it's going to be super replayable because of just the way the card setup is. It's randomized, but you do have, as you can see here, as it goes down this conveyor belt, you can plan for your next turns and whatnot. It's fantastic. I'm just going to call it right there. One of the better roller rides I've played of recent times, and I think it's I love what the folks at Flat Out Games are doing. Again, take a grain of salt. I was paid to do this video, but again, these wrap-ups, folks, are about what I really enjoyed and what didn't really hit with me. This one hit with me, of course. I love this Cascadia Rolling Hills. And there's actually another one, too. I forget the name. Rolling Rivers, was it? But they change up. And here's, as I'm doing this here, you can see have different goals. Those cards are different. Every game you're going to shuffle them up. The different goals and different bonuses you get. Such a fantastic implementation of a tile laying game into a roll and write game. That's my number 5, Cascadia Rolling Hills. All right, number 4. This is a brand new game. It's going to be going to Kickstarter soon. Probably not fair that I put this here because it's not readily available yet. I believe it's going to Kickstarter, but I had a chance to play it, and it was fantastic. This is a game called Wine Cellar. As you can see here, no videos out, but we do have some photos. It's a set collection game, a bidding game about creating your own wine cellar. It's got beautiful cards. Is this from Vincent Dutray? I'm going to check right now. Vincent Dutray. Yes, Vincent Dutray. I believe this is first time designer Andrew Stiles. I've gotten to meet Andrew a couple times at conventions. Super, super nice guy. There he is. Hi, Andrew. A foodie, and also we talked about food before and wine. This seems like, to me, it seems like a labor of love, and I love the gameplay in this. Everyone's going to start with some wine cards. Now, the wines, it's really neat. They're numbered 1 through 68, I think. And you'll take out cards depending on player count. But you have a couple in your hand. There's going to be a few in a tableau. You're going to bid on those. And then the highest bid gets their choice. The next highest bid gets their next choice, etc. Sort of like for sale, right? So then you're going to take those, whatever, let's say those are the numbers, 15, 52, 1, and 40. If I played, say, the 36 and you played the 35, I get to choose first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose one because we all have client cards on the left. Those are secret. So we all have our secret missions, right? But we also can see on the bottles there, let me blow up the photo a little bit. On the bottles, these numbers. And as you turn them sideways, they're going to be horizontal because that's how you store wine. You're going to score points based on where they are in your tableau. So you're building up to down, and if it's the first bottle in your collection, you're going to score the leftmost points. In this case, a 3. But if I can manipulate it so this bottle is second, so you can't like move bottles, but what you can do is place a bottle either top or bottom of another one. If I place one above this 52, that is now worth 7 points. So you're going to play left to right. I think it's brilliant. So as you add bottles, I think you place up to 8 bottles in your cellar. Those will score you the different points. Here's all the different client cards that you can have, different scoring opportunities. You know what? I played this, I think, okay, here's an example. So in this case, this player has, for their first one, let's see, the number 7 is the first slot. The number 8's on the second slot. The number 7. So they're doing a really good job of lining up their bottles. On the 4th slot, they've got a 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got a 4. The 5th slot, a 6. So you get points on that. But you also get points for the labels and the country and the type of wine. So it's multi-set collection, right? So this one, it's like, a Chardonnay or a Cabernet. And then depending on the player count, you're going to want certain labels. So maybe one player wants the U.S. Wines, one wants wines from Mexico or whatnot. Oh, multi-set collection with that bidding. Got a little bit of first sale in it. It is so good. I played, I think it was a 7 or 8 player game of this recently, and it moved so quickly. And again, we're thinking first sale vibes for sure. But first sale is one of my all-time favorite games. This one, as far as theming goes, I definitely prefer this. I mean, First Sale's super cute art and everything. I think For Sale edges this out slightly, but this could be. I don't know. I love Wine Cellar. That's why it's my number 4 for the month, folks. It was really good. I believe it's coming to Kickstarter soon, so check that out. Rolling Reggie, what's up, my friend? Good to see you here. We're coming up on number 3 for the list. Again, if you're watching this YouTube, thank you so much for hanging out, folks. I appreciate you watching on YouTube. I record this live on Twitch once a month. And my number 3 game that I played this month was, what do I have? Oh, man. Another paid preview, but this was excellent. If you like Earth, you're going to love Earth Abundance. More of the same, but even better. You have new resources, you have new cards, you have new abilities, and this fantastic engine building game on the top of a lot of people's list for Game of the Year last year. It made my short list. It wasn't my favorite Game of the Year, but oh boy, I love this. It's got the engine building with the big old deck of cards like Terraforming Mars or Wingspan, I think a little more approachable than, definitely more, I feel, more approachable than Terraforming Mars. But you also have the spatial element where you're trying to build your tableau 4x4, and certain cards will trigger based on what actions being played and what sets have been created and what games have you been, or what other things you have in your tableau here that connect to each other. So you have a spatial elements like, hey, you have 4 mushrooms in a column, or whatnot. So those type of things, and you're balancing all this stuff and trying. It's a race to finish that tableau. Abundance does and adds a few things, and I think it's the type of. Actually, I know it's the type of expansion I like, where it doesn't change the basic flow of gameplay. Like it's still Earth, but it adds those elements, like I think it's seeds, which allow you to do things a little quicker as far as like converting stuff. It gives you another conversion option, which allow you to get the cards that you want in your tableau. Excellent games. Earth Abundance, folks. If you loved Earth, you're gonna. I don't know if is it a must-have. Some people are saying it's a must-have. I think it's outstanding. Hey, to live in Dice and LA's in the house. Welcome, friends. Let's move on. I got 2 more games to talk about, and then I'm going to talk about the games that you played. And if you're watching this on YouTube, that's a separate video. But if you're watching live, folks, I stick around and do this live with y'all in the studio audience. I call it studio audience, but it's, we're on the internet here. You know what I'm talking about. Number 2 is area control game. I do enjoy a good area control game, and I love what Fractured Sky from Ivy Studios did with the area control mechanism. This is from my playthrough, again, a sponsored playthrough with Bonzinator and my buddy Gerald B. Gaiman. We played this a couple of weeks ago, and what you're doing is trying to take over, or you're trying to have control of the different islands of Fractured Sky, and you're trying to collect starfalls, victory points. What this does, and what's cool about Ivy Studio, they do this really cool thing in a couple of other games where they have like a little bit of hidden information that you have, and you're trying to deduce other what other players have. And there's this like really cool way to, what other game do they do it? No, now maybe I'm misthinking or misremembering, where, because they have Mythic Mischief, which is an abstract game, but they do have asymmetric abilities for the different monster factions. And then I'm thinking of Moonrakers, which is sort of like got this negotiating element with deck building. Is that what, man, maybe I'm thinking something else. Anyways, they do excellent games, folks. And this one here, you're going to have your different missions, objectives at the top side there, but they're all unknown to everyone. But you can do an action where you can peek at them, and then you'll have a piece of information that someone else doesn't have. Also, each round you're going to be adding starfalls, which are the victory points that you want, to different areas, but no one knows where they are except for one. There's a public one, then there are, depending on what round it is, there are secret ones that you'll eventually learn about. And again, you can take that an action where you can find out where they are and start sending all your ships there, because you want your strength to be in certain areas. And what I love about the deluxe edition, oh, magnets, folks, magnets. The magnets are used on the ship to take one of your power tokens, the numbers 0 through 10. So there's a little bluffing here as well. Like if you put a ship somewhere, your opponent's like, oh, did Ruel really want to take over that area, or is he putting a 0 there to bluff me out of making my ship go there when he doesn't even care about it? So that's a lot of that in this game. And for a 3-player game, we had a blast. It was so much fun trying to outguess each other. Daryl crushed it. He did really well. He was able to outmaneuver me and Bonds. And Bonds actually had a killer final turn. She came up second, Daryl was out ahead, but she made a really furious comeback. I was out of it from the get-go. I just, whatever. I like to say I'm a good teacher. I taught them the game, and they've used my lessons well to dominate. So Fractured Sky, a really cool way to do area control with that hidden information element to it. And like other Ivy Studio games, this is what I want to point out. They have a really great way of their rule books, really easy to get into. They're not extensive rule books, but they explain the game so well that you're going to be able to jump right into play within, you're not going to spend all night trying to figure out how to play this game. And all their games are like that, but they offer a lot of depth in the strategy and complexity. Not a complex game, but definitely a deeper strategy game than it implies, right? Because it's a beautiful game, and their components are always gorgeous. So that is my number 2 for the month. Fractured Sky. Hey, Time Roller, Tough and Razor in the house. We're recording Ruel's wrap up, and I'm about to wrap it up with my number 1 game for the month. I was talking about, was I talking about this at the start of the stream, where the start of the video, where I was talking about this is for games that I played last month. They are both old and new. Now, Fractured Sky, that is a Kickstarter. That game is available, but the Kickstarter is going on right now is for the new edition, or the new expansion, Rift, which adds some new mechanism to that game, but also a reprint of the original game, because their games tend to sell out. The game I'm about to talk about is, for me, one of the greatest area control games ever. It's the first time I ever played it was recently. It's El Grande. I played this with Daryl a couple of times last month, and actually we did an on the clock segment for it, and that's where Daryl and I will pick a game, we put a chess clock on it and try to play it as fast as possible. The normal time for this game is 60 to 120 minutes. We try to play it in 30 minutes, and we actually played it in about 20 minutes. We give each other 15 minutes to play. Just like a chess clock, you make your move, press the clock, your opponent's on the clock. El Grande is fantastic. It's been around for almost 20 years, I think, and it still hums to this day. The streamlined nature of the game, it's got a theme that's pasted on. You're basically trying to take over Spain. Very basic theme, but the gameplay is so sharp. You play 9 rounds. You're going to score after every 3 rounds, and what you're trying to do is place as many caballeros or knights into each section, but you start with a certain limit in your hand of those little knight meeples, and then you're going to try to add those through the gameplay. Everyone has these power cards that they're going to play, and those bring more knights into play, but they also direct you as far as like, hey, you played the highest number, you get to pick which action card you take first. Those action cards are crucial. They get those knights onto the board, onto the table, or into the castle, which is a really neat little element that I didn't expect. I love this. The castle, that also scores after the end of 3 rounds, but you don't know how many are in there, right? You know exactly how many are on the board. That's going to score. Each section of the board scores, but also that castle. It's a neat little twist. Again, hidden information. I think it's so cool. I loved how smooth this game plays, and I was like shocked I wasn't shocked. I was very pleasantly surprised at how well this game played, being a 20-plus-year-old game. It is outstanding. Highly recommend this. It immediately became one of my favorite area control games, and definitely it was my favorite game of the month. So El Grande, number 1, folks. I loved it. I hope you've had a good time watching this. Whoops. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to see more of this, click on the link below for what you played, because I also record that. We talk about the games that you played in the last month. So thanks again. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.